Yo, what is going on, everybody? Average player here. Um, this time a little different. I'm not gonna edit anything. My premiere is being weird. So what I will be doing today is showcasing my virtual world deck profile. It is Phantom Knights included. I promised that my Phantom Knights would be done, but it's not the full deck. It's just a virtual world Phantom Knight deck. It's about 43 cards. Side deck, extra deck, main deck. No edits. So we're just gonna try to fly through this. All right. First up, your virtual world psychic package. You're gonna play 3 Lulu and 2 Nyan Nyan. So these are your psychic package and their E-Tele targets. Um, it's not the only psychics in the deck, but these are the targets with E-Tele, so that's why I just put it next to E-Tele. Fix this. That's why I put it next to E-Tele in the deck profile. So when you're looking for the cards, you just know Nyan Nyan, E-Tele, and Lulu. They all go together. All right, next is for the rest of the virtual world cards. You play 3 copy of Gigi, 3 copies of Lalo, 2 copies of Lily, and 1 copy of Tao Tao. All right. That's it for the virtual world monsters. For the virtual world spells and traps, we don't play very many. 3 Kowloon, 3 King Long, and 2 Chuchi. I don't have a Zanwu, which is okay. The deck can function without it, but the Zanwu is really good. So if you have a Zanwu and you can get one, play it. 44 cards don't do much to this deck. Next is the Phantom Knight package. You can change this depending on how you feel it should be ran. Like this. I play 2 Torn Scales. You can definitely run 3. And ignore if my voice did just high pitches or low pitches randomly. I am going through sick. So, yeah. Alright. 2 boots. 1 cloak. I run this the same way I would run my Phantom Knights deck with 1 cloak. 1 Staingreaves. 1 Ragged Gloves. Alright, so those are your Phantom Knight monsters. The 1 cloak is obvious. Since it's an engine, you only want 1. The 2 Torn Scales, I cut it down because I saw it too much. And sometimes I'd see it more than 1 time in a hand when I would need virtual world cards as well. The Phantom Knight combo is good, but you do want to see your virtual world cards. And if you don't have any, or you have to waste your normal summon, it's gonna suck. So, 1 Rhoda, obviously because of the virtual world cards. And then last thing for virtual world cards is the 3 Fogblade. Everybody knows the Fogblade does. Alright, we have a few monsters left. The Danger Package, Tsuchinoko, Jackalope. They're level 3s, they're free. Jackalope summons Suchi from the deck if it's discarded. They both summon themselves, draw a card if they're not discarded off their effect. Suchi, if it's discarded, special summons itself. Next, we got hand traps. And we only play 2 hand traps and 2 of each. 2 Ash Blossom. And 2 Imperm. You could definitely play 3 and 3. Which it really wouldn't do anything. But I recommend 2 and 2. Even though you won't see it as much. Because you do want to see your combo pieces more. This is still really good. I feel like this is the best ratio to have for this deck. Especially since you do play extra hand traps in your side deck. Because we will show you what that side deck is here soon. And for the blowout cards. 1 Called by the Grave. And 1 Imperial Order. Alright, and that's it for the main deck. Now on to the extra deck. Link monsters. Virtual world deck, the virtual world monsters themselves, if they use their effects, can't make link monsters. Nor can you link summon after you use the virtual monsters effects. So the reason why I said you wanted to have your virtual world cards in hand and your Phantom Knight cards and kind of be able to work off them both. So while you're able to normal summon your Phantom Knight cards and you're able to do your Phantom Knight combo, you got to do that first. If you do your Virtual World combo first, you won't be able to do any of your links and set up your Fog Blades for free or anything like that, which is just extra negates. Um, one Rusty Bardiche. So that's it for your link monsters. Um, everybody knows that Cherubi does. Everybody knows that Rusty Bardiche does. They're the main two culprits of every Phantom Knight deck. All right, next we play only 4 Ixies. Two of them are rank 3, one's a rank 6, and one's rank 12. All right, one Gossip Shadow. Card's good. It turns any monster effect into both players draw and discard a card, which is good, especially if you have those pesky Phantom Knight cards in your hand, or you got the danger monsters in your hand, or you got the Virtual World cards that can recur themselves from the graveyard, like Nanyan or Tao Tao. One Break Sword, one Ptolemy M7, and then the last one is Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. So I haven't brought this to tournament yet. This is my first rendition of this deck. We're doing our sneak preview for Burst of Destiny this Sunday, which is a little late for it since Burst of Destiny is coming out this Sunday. But that's the only day we were to do it. We were gonna do it on Halloween, but the owner of my shop has a family, so we're doing it a little late. So it'll be a couple weeks before I do an updated deck profile of this. But yeah. Next, we only play 2 fusion monsters. All right, Invoked Kaliga and Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. So obviously you can tell we're not playing Verte Anaconda. We are playing Muddy Muddragon, which can make this stuff really easily. Muddy Muddragon just turns itself into Alistair the Invoker, and it can turn itself into Dark Magician. Make these two. If you have Ultimate Zolkin on the field, you can make Dragoon. Or even if you have Ultimate Zolkin on the field, you can still make Invoked Kaliga, because it's just a dark monster. Depending on what you want to do, they both work. If you don't want your opponent to just make Dragoon. Alright, next is Synchros. We play a few. One Ultimate. One Stardust Charge. Synchro Summon Draw card. Coral Dragon. So these two play hand in hand. The Stardust Charge, when it's Synchro Summon, you get the draw card. Coral Dragon, when it's used for Synchro Summon, you get the draw card, but it also has the effect to target a card and destroy it. And so if you already use the tuner and non-tuner for this, the Coral Dragon's good because it has the tuner on it. So if you don't have a tuner on the field and you just decide that, oh, I don't have a tuner, make Coral Dragon, so I'll be able to make my Shen Shen. At least you'll have something on the field to be able to disrupt your opponent that turn. So Coral Dragon's the way to go. Alright, Muddy Muddragon. Obviously, that's going to be the card you're going to use to fusion summon your Kaliga and your Dragoon. Crystal Wing. Million Dragon Mech. And Virtual World QB Shen Shen. And if my math is right, this is a 14 card extract. So you can play whatever else you want on top of it. Nope, it's 15. The 15 card extra deck. Yeah. You can definitely take out a few cards, and it really wouldn't do anything from this extra deck. But all the Synchro monsters, I would definitely recommend to have it stay the way it is. But the Xyz, like Gossip Shadow, that can be changed out for whatever you want. And Fog Blade can be changed out for whatever you want. So yeah, that's it for the main and extra deck. The side deck is where things get a little interesting. As you guys already saw by the beginning of the video, we play Nibiru already. So the side deck actually plays around Crossout Designator. Because you don't want a main deck. You do main deck Called by the Grave. But the Crossout Designator, it helps especially if you're going first round 2. So I wouldn't main deck it off the bat. So you're going to play 3 Nibiru for your side deck. to Droll. Droll actually does show up a little bit. It works against um it works against Drytrons, which is good. Um it doesn't really do anything against you in this deck unless you're really doing your Phantom Knight stuff, then it could hurt a little bit. Ancient Cloak, add to hand, and then you can't really do anything else after that. Because Droll will just lock it out. That's about it. It does stop your Lulu from searching if they want to do that, so it just kind of locks you a little bit. The Lulu isn't that much of a hurt though if they hit you with a Droll. But there's another card that does hurt a lot other than Nibiru. It's Ghost Spell. Ghost Spell, if you banish a card from the graveyard, negate it. Negate the effect. Or negate the activation. So that actually hurts a lot against Virtual Worlds. Yan Yan banishes itself when it's after it's sent back to the field. But since you're playing the Phantom Knights, this hurts. Even though it banishes for cost on most of them, but it does hurt your Virtual World engine. It's stuff like King Long and your Chuchi. They banish themselves to be able to activate their effects. It's not for cost. They just have to be in graveyard. Ghost Spell negates the activations, and those cards are really helpful because the Chuchi level modulates your cards up and down 3 levels, and the King Long allows you to search. And then obviously I said cross out Designator. I only got one, or else some of these cards would be gone for more. All right, obviously the Nibiru is like one of the few things that have stayed in this extra deck or the side deck. We didn't play Droll before. But everything else is like the last ones. One Gamshiel, Harpy's Feather Duster, Raigeki, Lightning Storm, and then my sauce, the 3 Solemn Judgment. There's actually a time when I was playtesting and I main decked the 3 Solemn Judgment. It was good when you wanted to go first. Solemn Judgment, if you saw more than one, was kind of the same case of your Torn Scales. You didn't like it, and even though you weren't able to do as much, you can stop your opponent more than once that turn, which was good. But if they play through it, you're kind of screwed because you weren't able to set up anything. But now, I'm gonna zoom out, shuffle my deck, and show you guys a little bit of a combo. Like I said, this is gonna be unedited, so just bear with me for a second. My Premier Pro's acting up. My buddy and I were sharing one, and his actually went at the same time I went. It's weird because you can edit the video, but you can't edit the audio. It just says audio files are bad or whatever. It's a weird error. Yeah, another reason why I haven't been posting any videos is I've been busy working. On top of working, I've been trying to change around my setup. I just got a new mic, so if you notice the crisp, clean voice cracks because I'm sick, it's because I got a great new mic. It's a Rode mic. I went from a Blue Snowball to this thing, and this thing actually is amazing. Shout outs to my other buddy as well. I just helped him out because one of my other buddies works at Newegg. And a couple months ago, this buddy, the one that gave me this mic, went and ordered a 3060, but he never got it. And then Newegg never issued him a refund, which kind of sucks. And I eventually got around talking to my buddy who works at Newegg, and I told him about it. And I was like, he didn't get a refund. He didn't get his package. It got stolen in delivery. Is there anything you can do? He pulled up his order, and he's giving him a 3060. He's shipping one directly to his house. He's gonna try to make sure that it doesn't get stolen again. So in return, my buddy gave me his really good mic. So that's awesome. But alright, since I'm all shuffled up, let's test it. So Lily, Rhoda, Yan Yan, Kowloon, and Gigi. Okay, this is actually pretty good. Since we have the Rhoda and a card that can get a Virtual World just spell or trap on the field without using your normal summon, and the Virtual World cards that allowed to special summon themselves, like Gigi and Lily. So I'd activate Rhoda first, and this is where I'd add the Torn Scales right off the bat. So you add the Torn Scales to your hand, then you activate Kowloon to activate a Virtual World spell or trap directly from your deck. You're actually gonna activate the trap from your deck. I'm gonna move it out of light, which can be Chuchi. Kowloon has another effect, but it doesn't really matter at this point because you don't control any Virtual World monsters. All right, and then like I said, you want to accomplish your Phantom Knight combo first. So you're gonna normal summon Torn Skills. You're gonna use its effect. You're gonna discard your Nyan Nyan to send a Phantom Knight card from your deck to the graveyard. And obviously, it's gonna be Cloak. All right. Again, sorry for the voice cracks and the peaks in audio. I'm sick. Next you're gonna use the Ancient Cloak effect engrave, banish it, to add a Phantom Knight, which is gonna be your boots. Next, you're gonna use the effect of boots to special summon itself. Move these up a little bit. And then you're gonna link summon for Cheerbini. And then you're gonna use the effect of Cheerbini just to dump a monster graveyard. A level 3. So you got many options. If you didn't have Nyan Nyan in your hand, you would just dump Nyan Nyan off a Cheerbini. So when you go and you try to special summon any of your Virtual World monsters, Nyan Nyan just special summons itself from the graveyard. But now you got a few choices. You can dump Stained Greaves, you can dump GG, you can dump another Boots if you really wanted to. Or you can dump Gloves. At this point, I would just go ahead and dump. Yeah, Stained Greaves. Just to have another monster in the graveyard, you know. Alright. And actually, no. You want to dump Stained Greaves here. You want to dump Gloves. It's because you got that Torn Scales engraved. The Stained Greaves doesn't really do anything. And you got that Boots. That Boots is actually just want to have it stay in the grave for a little bit. So you're going to dump Gloves instead of the Stained Greaves. But you're going to go ahead and use the effect of your Gloves to banish it. To send a trap to the graveyard, which can be a Fog Blade. And this triggers your Torn Scales. You go ahead and special summon it from the graveyard. Alright. And now you're going to go ahead and do your Phantom Knight, Link, climb into Rusty Bardiche. Use the effect of Rusty Bardiche to go ahead. And this time you're going to send the Torn Scales to the graveyard. Or not, the Stained Greaves. To go ahead and set your Fog Blade. Alright. This is the set Fog Blade. And then this is where things are going to get kind of good. Alright. Now you're going to start your Virtual World combo. Activate the effect of GG by targeting your Chuchi. I'm going to move GG out of light. And then you're going to go ahead and immediately dump your Kinglong. Because the Virtual World monsters, all of them except for Nyan Nyan, have the effect to target a Virtual World monster you control. Dump a Virtual World card with a different card type, like Monster, Spell, and Trap, to the graveyard. So if you're targeting Chuchi, you can send a monster or a spell. If you're targeting a monster, you can actually send a spell or trap. And if you're targeting a spell, you can target you can send a monster or a trap. In your special summon GG. Alright, now you're going to banish King Long from your graveyard. Go ahead and add the Lulu. You see right now we're not using the effective Yan Yan. Because we're going to wait for Lily to hit the field. Alright, or we can do it with Lulu. So we're actually going to do it with Lulu. You're going to use Lulu to target your GG and send Chuchi. Now we have the level modulation in the graveyard with Chuchi. Special summon Lulu. And then Lulu will allow you to add your third virtual world card type from your deck to your hand, which is going to be your King Long. Go ahead and activate King Long. Actually, no. And since Lulu was special summon, Yan Yan's going to proc engrave. Go ahead and special summon itself. Becomes a tuner. Now you're going to synchro summon with Yan Yan and GG. Go ahead and make Stardust Charge Warrior. Use the effect of Stardust Charge Warrior to draw a card, which is going to be, the Imperm. So there's your set card that you can use. To proc off Altamaya when we use it, but the Yan Yan's banished on that synchro summon. And the Yan Yan, you can choose to return whatever you want to your deck. And so we're going to target the Ancient Cloak. And return that to the deck. Use that. Alright, so the left side right here is our hand, and these are the cards we have on our field. This is our hand. Now you're going to use the effect of Lily. You're going to target your Chuchi. And send Tao Tao to the graveyard. Special summon Lily. And then Lily has the effect that you can send another one from the deck to the graveyard. But you don't have to do that. And I wouldn't recommend it. Alright, let me read Altamaya real quick, because I always had a question on this. Alright, so it counts as a special summon, not a synchro summon. Okay, now you're gonna just send these two to the graveyard. Special summon your Altamaya Zolkin. Set your Imperm. Altamaya Zolkin effect. Special summon Crystal Wing. Alright. And now you're actually pretty set to go ahead and make your last negation. So King Long's going to sit in your hand for a little bit. But you're going to go ahead and banish the Fog Blade from your graveyard. To go ahead and special summon Boots. Wherever you want it. Then you can use Boots and Lulu. Sync 6. Into Money Mud Dragon. You're going to use the effect of Money Mud Dragon to target your Dragoon. Its name becomes Dark Magician. You're going to fusion summon with Money Mud Dragon and Altamaya Zolkin, which is Money Mud Dragon's effect. Special summon out your Dragoon. And you still have a card in hand with King Long to be able to use Dragoon's effect, if you want. Next, you are going to banish the Boots from your graveyard to add your last Fog Blade from your deck to your hand. And then obviously you're going to set a card face down, which is going to be your Fog Blade. But your opponent doesn't know. It could be the King Long. You could discard the Fog Blade off a Dragoon. What? And so this is the board you're going to end on. You're going to have 1, 2, 3 disruptions. You're just in your back row alone. With the Imperm and the 2 Fog Blade. And then the Dragoon with your Omni Negate. and your crystal wing. So imperm can technically be your omni negate because it negate a whole column. Yeah, you got the monster negate, omni negate. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. If you guys like the video, please like and subscribe, and see you.